Hello guys and welcome back. So now in this video we will be spawning our players in the game. So for that, first of all, if we open up the game scene, actually not the game scene, in the prefabs we have this player controller manager. So to this we will be attaching a new script. So in here let's create a new script by the same name, player controller manager. Okay. We now click on Photon prefabs. Let's lock this. Okay, select the player controller manager, lock it, and here is the script. Drag and drop it. Okay, and when you do that, now we can simply unlock it. And let's open this up. In here, what we're gonna do is we can actually leave these two methods, and first of all, at the top, we're gonna say using Photon dot pun, and then we're gonna say using system.io. Okay, then after this, at the top we need a reference to the component. Okay, to this component, let me show you. Okay, this photon view component. So we're gonna say photon view, let's name this as view. Okay, and then let me actually remove this method. We will leave the start method as it is, and at the top let's add a wake method, and in here we're gonna say view equals to get component, and we want to get the photon view component. After this, in here we're gonna say if the photon view is ours, it means if it is our player. Okay, then what we want to do, we want to spawn the player game object for our own player, or you can say the player controller for our own player. So first of all, make a method by the name of create controller. Let's now go ahead and spawn our player controller. Okay, so we're gonna say, actually we can just simply copy this whole line from here. Okay, where we are instantiating our player controller manager. Okay, then we will do the same right here as well. So it is inside the Photon prefabs, then its name is just player. So Photon prefabs and then just player. Everything else will be the same. Okay, for now we don't have any spawn points because, as I told you in the previous video, we don't have any teaming. So when we add teaming, then after that we will be giving the player spawn points. Okay, for now just leave this as it is. After this, let's call create controller method in there, so that if the view is ours, or you can see if it is our computer, then on our computer we're gonna create, or you can say spawn a player, and also for the other players as well. So save the script, get back right here. Okay, everything is set up. If we now let's play the game from here first of all and see if it instantiate a player for our own, I mean from our own computer or not. So if we create a room, start the game. Okay, as you can see, it didn't spawn a player. Okay, I mean we are on the game scene. As you can see, we have the player controller manager right here, and if you check the player, okay, the player game object is automatically disabled. So if we enable it, now as you can see, this is our player. As you can see, our player is walking. For now, right now the grass has the collider, so that's why, as you can see, the player is colliding with them. Okay, but as you can see, the player is instantiated, but we need to fix this error, which is photon network dot instantiate can only be instantiate object with a photon view component. All right, so if we click on the player right here at the bottom, make sure that you add a photon view component right here. Okay, and then what we're gonna do, we're gonna now first of all build the game and also start the game right here as well. Okay, let's create a room, join the room from this side as well. Okay, if we now start the game, as you can see, there are two players instantiated, but as you can see, they both can be controlled from our keyboard. Okay, if we now move to the other one, as you can see, we can do this. Okay, as you can see, one of the player can control both of them. Okay, so right here, if we select the game, as you can see, we have two controller manager. One is ours and one is the other players, and we have two player uh, player controllers as well, as you can see. Okay, one is ours, as you can see, is mine is true, and on the other one is mine is false. Okay, we have two players, but as you can see, we can control both of them at the same time, and we don't want this. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna click on player movement. Let's open up the player movement, and right here at the bottom, let's now create a reference to the photon view component, and make sure at the top you add using photon dot pun. Okay, so right here we have this handle movement, handle rotation. Okay, let me actually for now save that and get back right here. And if we open up the player manager, okay, so now right here, as you can see, we call all of these methods in this handle all movement, and then we call this handle all movement in here. Okay, handle all movement. So we actually need to do that right here. Okay, so from here remove this. Okay, and you can actually press Control Z to get back to the default code. Okay, and click on player manager, and in here at the top, first of all, add using photon.pun, and then paste that code, and in the awake we're gonna say view equals to get component, and we want to get the photon view component, and then right here in handle all movement we're gonna say if the view is not ours, so actually we need to add that at the start. So view dot is mine is not true. It means that if it is not our player, then we just simply want to return and don't want to play the handle all movement method. Okay, and also the same thing for the inputs, and the same thing for the other camera movements and jumping and all of that as well. Okay, so just simply copy and paste that in all of them then. And once you do this, get back right here, and as you know that on the player we have the player manager, and as you know that this photon view will be automatically attached. Okay, so we can actually make this private now, or we can just leave this as it is. So now if we start the game, and then whatever player is ours, okay, then that player will be controlled by us, okay, or from this computer. So actually let me build the game and then I will show you. So now if we go ahead and create a room from this computer, create room, okay, let's join this room from here. Okay, so now we have two players. Let's start the game. Okay, they will still be spawn on top of each other, but now as you can see we can only control a single player. Okay, and there is an issue with our camera, but don't worry, we're gonna fix that. But now as you can see we can only control one player. Okay, and if we check the other side from here, okay, now from here as you can see we can only control a single player as well, and from here as well. Okay, there is still an issue with our camera, so let's fix that now as well. The reason that is happening is because when we spawn two players at the same time, as you know that there is a camera in both of them. Okay, so what we're gonna do in order to fix that is that we're gonna disable one of the camera from the other players. Okay, I mean if the player is ours then we don't have to disable the camera, but if the player is not ours, or you can say there are many players in the lobby, or you can say in the room, then for all of them we're gonna disable the cameras. Okay, but in our scenes. Okay, let me show you how we can do that. So on the same player manager script, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a start method. Actually make this after the awake. Okay, so start in here, we're gonna say that if the view is not ours, it means that if there are if the view is of the other players, then what we're gonna do, we're gonna destroy, let's say, get component in children, because our camera is a child of our player game object. Okay, so get component in children, and we want to get the camera manager. Okay, and what we want to do with it is we want to disable it. Okay, I mean destroy it. So we're gonna say game object. Okay, so it gonna take the game object of that on which the camera manager script is attached and destroy it. Okay, so inside the player the camera manager script is attached to this game object. So what it will do, it will just simply delete this. Okay, for all of the other players but not for our own player. Okay, so now let me build the game and show you guys how this will work now. So let's go ahead and create a room, join that room from here. Okay, let's start the game. And now as you can see both of the players are now um, spawned, or you can say instantiated, and now as you can see we can only move and rotate the camera around the player on our own player, as you can see. Okay, and if we check it from the other player as well, so as you can see the movement right now is not passing to the other player, but don't worry, we will be fixing that issue as well. Okay, because for now as you can see the transform of the players are not passing, or you can say syncing with each other. Okay, but now as you can see we can only control a single player. Okay, and now in the next video we're gonna sync the movement and rotation to all of our players that are inside the game, but that will be in the next video.